So kumbuka, this is a weekly sports review. Naletwa kwako na Mutie, mimi ndio Mutie. Na unaweza ingia pale Playmaster because this show is sponsored by playmaster.co.ke. Unaweza ingia pale kwa app yetu, uangalie midweek jackpot, win big, and who knows, you might be the next millionaire. So onto the next one, we'll be looking at what has been happening locally. The Kenyan Premier League took a break 2 weeks ago to allow for the FKF Cup competitions to take part. So this week we are going to resume, and match week 20 starts on Friday the 13th. And also, lack of stadiums, our boys have been performing well abroad. So let's dig deep into it. The KPL resumes this week. We have good fixtures. On Friday, Bidco will be facing Kakamega Homeboys. Posta will be facing Shabana. On Sunday, we have a cracker, the Risasi Derby. Police will be facing Ulinzi. But one thing with this fixture, inakoga tu game ya draw, so we can predict about that. And then Gor Mahia will be facing APS Bomet. Remember, the biggest loss for Gor Mahia this season, they faced it. They were beaten by APS at Nyayo. They lost 4 goals to 1. So will Kogalo go for a revenge, or will APS continue dominating? Shabana versus Posta. The game was supposed to be played in Kasarani. It's being played in Meru. So one thing with Shabana fans, they'll always follow their team. So it's going to be a tough fixture, and that's a draw. And then the next big game, Bandari versus FC Leopards. Remember, FC Leopards walitolewa kwa cup competitions za FKF. Na walitolewa na team inaitwa BB Bread. Hii ni team ya Kayole. Hii team hucheza regional league. So will FC Leopards continue chasing the title? Remember, they are 4 points off Gor Mahia, but having played a game less. But remember, teams that go to Bandari ni ngumu sana kutoa points Mombasa. They have an early fixture kickoff at 2 p.m. on Saturday. They'll be facing Bandari at Mbaraki Sports Center. And then we have several games. We have Sharks playing, but those teams will be playing in Nairobi. So we are looking forward to a very competitive KPL weekend. And another thing that will be happening this weekend, just remind you before I tell you what will be happening this weekend, remember this show is brought to you by playmaster.co.ke. Rugby will be happening this weekend. Find ways on how you find yourselves at Nyayo. Shujaa will be taking part. Kenya Lionels will be taking part. But also remember, rugby na kwa game ya vibes. They'll be having after parties. Wakona madiji wakali watakuwa wanacheza. One of them is Grouchy. Calligraph will also be performing. So kama una form ya kufanya hii Valentines, ama kama una mtu unaweza enda kuona rugby. So try find your way, nunua ticket. Unaweza kuwa umekosa mtu mwaka mzima, lakini usikose ticket. Find yourself and find ways on how utajipata Nyayo. Then the other big thing that has been happening this week, we've seen our stadiums being closed. So you might ask yourself, why are we closing down our stadiums? Remember, next year, January, Kenya is hosting AFCON together with Tanzania and Uganda. So why are we closing our stadiums? The Ministry of Sport is saying that they are closing the stadiums for readiness for the competition. So how does this affect Kenyans in one way or the other? Remember, Kenya Premier League teams have been using Kasarani, they've been using Nyayo, they've been using Kasarani Annex, and all these facilities, we might see them being closed down for renovations in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So this becomes a challenge to several teams. Remember, Kasarani is the home stadium for Gor Mahia, for Nairobi United, and partly KCB usually use it. So you wonder, how will the league operate, or where will the fixtures be taken to? We've already seen Posta versus Shabana being moved to Meru. So are we seeing a return of games being played in Machakos? Are we seeing a return of games being played in Dandora? And remember, last season, so many coaches complained about the playing surface in Dandora. So who knows? The federation is still in the dark. The teams are also waiting. So let's hope the federation comes up with a solution, because you can't close down the stadiums and you close down the annexes. So teams are in a limbo. The fans are also in the same situation. But let's hope for a solution in the next few weeks. Then our stars have been performing so well. I'm talking about Kenyan Premier League, Kenyan players who are playing abroad. We saw Aldrin Kibet assist this week. Remember, he's in the Celta Vigo Team 2. Also, Amos Wanjala made his debut in Valencia, that's Primera Division. And then we saw Collins Chichenje, who is currently playing in Charlton, but he's yet to make his debut. Remember, Charlton is playing in the Championship. Championship ni ile ligi iko chini ya Premier League. So we have good players. Job Ochieng made his debut for Real Sociedad. They were playing against Athletic Club in the Copa del Rey competition. So it's a good start. Maybe, who knows, these might be the players who will be helping us come the 2027 AFCON competitions here in Nairobi. Yesterday, Barcelona were thumped 4-0 by Atletico Madrid, but they have a return leg in waiting. So that's all that has been happening all over the week. But remember, as I've always told you, playmaster.co.ke have the best odds. Remember, they have a midweek jackpot, so you might be the next millionaire. Make your way, create your app, create your account, and don't forget, play with us and win big. See you on the next episode. I'm Mutie.